Hello, I think we are live. Let me just check. I want to see if this is happening here. Janine, you're here, but you can't see anything. Can you see me now? Can you see me now? That is the question. And can you hear me? Because that would be awesome to see. So I haven't used Be Live before. Actually, that's a lie. I have used it, but it was ages ago. So I just want to double check before we jump in that you can hear me, that you can see me. Yes, it looks like I'm on. We've got a couple of people on. So how do I see who's on with me? That's an interesting question. Suzanne, you can see and hear me. Awesome. Janine, you can see and hear me. Fabulous. That's perfect. Okay. So let me pop this up. I think I can put a little picture up there. Show. How do I do that? Can you see that? Have I got a little picture up? Own It Now Challenge Day 1. It's there. Awesome. Fabulous. How do I get rid of that? Okay, we are here. Welcome to the challenge. I am super excited. I feel like I've been waiting for ages for us to actually get started with this because I started planning it a couple of weeks ago now and inviting people onto the challenge. So I feel like it's taken ages to actually get here. So welcome to the Own It Now challenge. It's all about getting you fully booked with your soul clients and starting to make those first 5 to 10K months. Now, there's lots of people who will be on here who know me well and know my story. But for those of you who don't, let me briefly just introduce myself, tell you what I'm about before we dive into the training today. So what I would love you to do, and I think that some people are here with me live now, which is awesome, but I know that a lot of people will be watching this back later. So whether you're here now, whether you're watching this later, firstly, please say hello, say hi so I can see you. And I'm hoping that I can figure out how... Oh, yeah, I can. So I can see who have I got. We've got Faye. Hi, Faye. Manaza. Hi, Manaza. I hope I'm saying your name right. Janine. We've got Eloise. Oh, no, we haven't got Eloise. Her messages from earlier. Okay, so those of you who don't know me, I'm Claire Macpherson. I'm a mindset and business alignment coach. And I'm really, really passionate and excited about helping women get fully booked with their soul clients, because it's got to feel good, and making their first 5 to 10K months in their business. Now, let me tell you why it's about that first 5 to 10K months. Hi, Sean. Nice to have you here as well. Oh, that pops up. That's clever. New technology. It's all exciting. Let me tell you why I'm so passionate about it hitting those 5 to 10K months. So I started out as a coach in New Zealand. And at the time, it was all face-to-face coaching, and my business grew really easily. It grew really easily because word of mouth in New Zealand is huge, and I never had to do any marketing, if I'm honest. I went to a networking group and that was it. It was super easy. And I didn't realize how easy I had it. Anyway, we decided as a family to make the move back to the UK. And we made the move back to the UK. And then quite soon after that, my husband left his job because he was unhappy. And I realized I needed to get my stuff sorted and build this coaching practice, right? And I was in a bit of a place of scarcity. I was scared because I was like, oh my God, I've got to get this up and running. I've got to start making money. I've got to help support the family. And what I realized was that the UK market felt so different to New Zealand. It felt like there were coaches everywhere, coaches, consultants, just it felt like everywhere I looked, there were loads of people already doing what I did. And I got into that scarcity mindset. And tell me if you felt this before, right? Where you think, oh my gosh, there are so many other people doing what I want to do. How will I ever make money doing it? So does that resonate with you? Have you had that thought before? There are so many other people out there. How am I going to stand out? How am I going to build a business? How am I ever going to be seen and make any money at all? And I got into that mindset and I got myself really stuck. Hi, Jane. And the more stuck that I got, the more overwhelmed that I got, the less action I started taking. And I decided that I know the answer here is that I need to learn more. So I need to invest in more courses. I need to find, in my head, I was like, there's some secret ingredient that these are the successful coaches know that somehow I'm missing. And so I invest in course after course after course, right? And I know lots of you might well have done the same, because I thought that I was literally searching for this magic answer, and all the courses would promise it, right? And I'm sure you felt that before. They would promise the magic answer, but I was like, I still don't feel like I have the magic answer. And instead of actually building my business, what I found was I got more and more and more stuck and started taking less and less action. And my belief went down and down and down and down. And I got to that place where I was like, literally, if I don't turn this around, I can't continue to do this. I'm going to have to go back. I was a teacher before then. I'm going to have to go back and start teaching again. How many times Have you felt that? So have you hit that point in your business where you've been, oh shit, I don't know if I can make this work. I'm going to have to do this job or go back to this work or stay in this job forever because maybe this is a dream that's never going to happen for me. Maybe this isn't actually possible. Like, maybe I just don't have what it takes. Have you ever felt that way, right? Because it's so normal. We all do. Everyone does, I think, at times. And so I set myself actually a bit of a challenge. And I was like, if I'm not making 5K by September, that's it. I'm going to have to go get a job. And I was really, really strict with myself. And for me, it was a real pain point because it hurt and I was in scarcity and I was stressed and frustrated and I didn't quite know the way out. And I saw a coach online and I thought, you know what, I need to get a coach. I've been spending money on all these courses and programs, filling myself up with information overload, right? Because so often we think that knowledge is power. We think we just need to learn more and then we're going to be able to do it. But for me, I had all the knowledge. What I wasn't doing is I wasn't implementing it. I knew it, but I wasn't doing it and I wasn't being it. And that was a huge missing part of the puzzle for me. And it wasn't until I got my own coach that I made that realization. And it was literally within 6 weeks that I went from being totally stuck with 1 or 2 clients, hardly paying anything, to being fully booked and hitting my first 5K month. And that was huge for me because I was like, oh my God, I did it. Like, I can do this. I can make it work. And suddenly it was like a massive weight was lifted off my shoulders. And it changed the game for me. And that's why for me, it's about making that first 5K because it makes such a big difference to your self-belief, to your drive, to what you can do, because suddenly you can pay the bills, right? Hi, Elaine. Hi, everyone who's hopping on. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Elizabeth. There might be a few other people as well. So Jane's saying, you're talking about me. We've all been there, right? And that's why I'm really passionate about this, because I know how hard it felt. And I also know that I was my biggest enemy during that time. And so that's what owning it is all about for me. Owning it is about owning who you really are, owning your dream, owning the fact that you are absolutely committed to making this dream happen because you know that you deserve it, but also all the people in the world that you can help deserve it too, and that your life matters and you get to live it on purpose in a way that you choose. And it's to be fabulous and amazing and filled with love and adventure and all kinds of amazing things, right? So that's what owning it is really about. It's about really owning it in yourself, in your life, in your business, the results that you want. It's about owning it now. And so today, for our first day of the challenge, we're here. I want to dive into the mindset, because mindset is huge. It's easy to fall into the trap, and I 100% did, of I just need to know the how. That's the trap that we fall into. We tell ourselves, I just need to know the how, and then I'll make it work. But the truth is, it's never really about the how. The how is important and strategy is important. And certainly in the work that I do, it's a combination of both, right? It's got to be the mindset and the aligned strategy. And that's really important for me. But do not dismiss the mindset, because it's not just as simple as knowing the how. I know if you had 2 people, person A, let's not give her a name because I'll forget her name as I'm telling you, as I'm talking through this. So person A has all the tools. She's done all the courses. She's got all the knowledge. Like, her head is jam-packed. She knows everything that she needs to be able to build an incredible business. Person B knows nothing. They haven't picked up a personal development book. They haven't done any coaching before. They haven't done any training. They're nothing. However, person A is lacking self-belief. They don't believe in themselves. They've got self-talk all the time that says, but what if I fail? And what if it doesn't work? And I just need to know more. And I keep freezing, do I? That's frustrating. Tell everyone else, do I keep freezing? Let's see. I've lost my train of thought now because I've read that. So yes, so she's got the self-talk that goes, I can't do this. What if I fail? Ooh, and she's stuck because she doesn't have that self-belief. Person B might have no knowledge at all, but they are just like, I can make anything happen. Anything I want, I know I can create. And they're just absolutely super focused on, that's what I'm going to create. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but by God, I'm going to do it. You know as well as I do, right, which person is going to make it, which person is actually going to achieve that results. it's going to be person B, right? It's going to be the person, you're okay at that end, thank you, Janine. It's going to be person B. It's the person who's got the belief. It's the person who literally just goes, you know what? I am going for this. I don't know how, I haven't got the knowledge. I'll pick it up along the way. I'll learn as I go because I know that I can do that. And that person might not have the resources to begin with, but they will get those resources and they will find a way, no matter what, to make it happen. We've all heard all of those success stories. We've all heard those stories of the greats who, you know, went up against all odds and achieved what they really wanted to achieve. And lots of the time they did not have the resources. Having the resources is not the answer. It's not the real ingredient that you need. It's mindset. So what we're going to do today is we're going to jump into some of that mindset. We're going to first get clear and get some clarity on some of the pieces of the puzzle that you might be missing, that you might be avoiding because of your mindset. So this is some of the action that you might not be doing, that you might even be totally blindsided by because your mindset is still in that place of lack of self-belief, uncertainty, perhaps not the clarity that you need. And before we even dive into that, what I want to say is don't judge yourself around that, okay? Don't judge yourself around the fact that you might not have self-belief that you wish that you did or you feel that you should, right? Because that judgment is just adding another layer. Actually just love yourself and accept yourself for where you are now, because that's the very best starting point. So firstly, just take like a second to acknowledge how far you have come, how much you have achieved, and all the things that you've learned on your journey, because I know that every single one of you on here, whether you're live with me now, whether you're watching this later, is incredible and have done flipping amazing things in your own way in your life. I know you have. You've got that feeling of more inside you. You know that you can be more. And while that's brilliant, right, because we want that drive, we want that motivation, the downside to it is that we can be really hard on ourselves. We cannot really celebrate our successes and how far we've come, and that in itself can be a huge block. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into the different areas of what I believe owning it is really about. We're going to look at them and we're going to see where you are in that area. So if you haven't got pen and paper, go and grab one now, because you need one, whether you're here with me now, whether you're watching this back. But just tell me, those of you who are on here, what percentage do you think, and I know there's lots of coaches and there's lots of people who've done lots of personal development, so I think you're all going to get it, right? But what percentage of the game do you think mindset plays? What percentage of the game do you think mindset really plays when it comes to getting the results you want? So who have we got on here? We've got Lynn, we've got Janine, we've got Jane, we've got Kerry, we've got Faye, we've got Elaine, we've got Sean, we've got a few other people as well, I think. So tell me, pop it on so that I can see what percentage of the game do you think it is. And also grab your pen and paper, because we're going to get some clarity around this. So most of you have probably heard of the Wheel of Life before, because I know lots of you are coaches. We're going to use it in a slightly different day today to get you some clarity about where you might not be noticing, because our beliefs have a huge impact on what we see in the world. Lynn, 100%, because 1%'s out and you are out. I love it. I love it. Absolutely. Perfect. Come on, the rest of you, tell me what you think. Kerry, 100%. Oh, we've got a lot of 100% here. I'm impressed. Okay. Suzanne, 80%. Yeah. Okay, cool. Still really, really high. Awesome. So what I want you to do is I want you to get your piece of paper. I want you to draw a circle on it. I've kind of got one I can show you. I should have done it properly, shouldn't I? But, you know, draw a little circle like that. I can't do it. Where I can't do it like that. Draw yourself a little circle and segregate it, okay? And what we're going to do is, everyone's putting it on now, this is awesome. Janine, very new to this. I'm not a life coach, but 80%. Awesome, Janine. Lucy, 90%. Hang on, it's a bit. Sean, 95%. It's really interesting. I'd be so intrigued to know what, like, I wish this is one of those moments where you wish you could talk back, because I'd love to know, like, what makes it that percentage for you. But think about it. What makes it that percentage for you? Okay, so around your little circle, have you all drawn it yet? Give me a little thumbs up if you've drawn it. Give me a thumbs up if you've drawn your circle and you've segregated it into those 8 different parts. People give me a thumbs up. I can't see if people give me a thumbs up. Can I see it on here? I don't know if I can see it on here. Okay. Do it anyway, because if everyone does it, maybe they'll start popping up. Oh yeah, they are fab. Okay, so we're gonna look at each segment of that circle. I'm gonna tell you the parts that I think are part of owning it. Oh, I know, I got sidetracked, didn't I? Hi, Andrea. So what I was gonna say is, so often our beliefs shape our world. We have filters that mean, because you know this, right? And you've probably heard me talking about it before. We take in so much information all the time that our conscious brain can't process all of it. So our subconscious brain thinks it's doing us a favor, and it filters the information that we become conscious of. But it filters that information through lots of different ways, one of which being our beliefs. So if we currently have a belief around, it's really hard to start a business, I'm not really good enough, if I fail, it's going to be awful, what will people think of me, I need to know more first. If we've got those beliefs that are under the surface, our subconscious is on purpose going to filter out the information that backs up those beliefs. It's only going to show us evidence that those beliefs are true rather than the opposite. So instead of, once we have those beliefs, what can happen is they get stronger and stronger and stronger because our subconscious keeps feeding us the evidence that makes them stronger. So it's really important that we look at our beliefs, and that sometimes we look at areas that we might not have considered before because it literally might have just been a blind spot for us. And that can be huge for all of us, right? Because we don't know what our blind spots are. We can't see them. Other people can. So the first area is the commitment to your business and stickability. So write that down, the commitment to your business and stickability. So on a mark out of 10, 1 to 10, what you're going to do is, I'm going to grab a piece of paper because some of you might not have seen this, just to be on the safe side in case you haven't. You're drawing your circle, you're segregating it. We're going in the first little segregation. My circles are terribly drawn. Going in the first little bit, and on this first one here, we're naming it commitment to your business and stickability. And then you're going to give yourself a score, 1 to 10, on currently how committed to your business you are and how good you are at sticking to doing what you said you were going to do around it. So we all know that building a business is never just a straight line up, right? It's never just success, 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 success. It's messy. We go up and down and up and down, and we'll have days when it's like, yeah, this is amazing, this is working, I've cracked it. And then we have days when it's like, oh my God, this isn't working, I can't do all of this, I'm failing, I might as well just stop now. That's part of the journey. Stickability is so important on that journey, right? Because if every time we hit a road bump, if every time we had a moment of, I can't do this, this isn't working, we stopped, we'd never get anywhere. And I know that, right? It's common sense, but common sense isn't always common practice. So stickability and your commitment to your business is huge. So I want you to be honest with yourself. When you give yourself a mark out of 10 for how committed you are to making your business a success, whatever success means for you in your business. So on a score of 1 to 10, 10 means you're totally committed, 1 means you're not committed at all, right? I'd love you to share it with me. So write into the little comments. Be honest, because there's no judgment here. Honesty is the thing that's going to help us move forwards. So where are you currently on a score of 1 to 10 for how committed you are to your business and how good you are at sticking to your business even when the going gets tough and it feels like it's not working? So pop in your comments. So Elaine, Andrea, Janine, Lucy, give me a number. Tell me where you are on a scale of 1 to 10. Come on, tell me. I want to see where you're all at. And what's going to be interesting as you go around this circle, you're going to have some areas that are probably really high and other areas that are really low. So tell me, where are you? So Suzanne, 5 out of 10. Okay, awesome. Thank you for your honesty around that, Suzanne. What about everyone else? Mita, 5 or 6 out of 10. Okay, cool. Yeah, absolutely. Kerry, 6. Andrea, 4. Okay, cool. So middle of the range, right? Oh, Manzana is an 8. Awesome. Janine is an 8. Okay, so we've got quite different numbers coming in. Again, I'm going to say no judgment. Do not judge yourself. Those of you who put in higher numbers, don't go be doing a happy dance because I bet you anything there's going to be lower numbers as we go further around. Okay, so brilliant. What makes it a 5 or 6 or an 8 out of 10? What is it that makes it that? What are the things that, what is the part of you that is really committed? Or what's the part of you that's holding back, and what's that really about? So if you're currently like a 4 or a 5 or a 6, why are you not fully committed? What is it that's holding you back? You don't need to share it on here, but I want you to have a little think about it. And certainly I'd love you to come back later to this and spend a bit of time digging into it. Be the investigator who digs into it and sees what's really going on to have it at that number, because that's when we get that clarity and awareness that we really need to move forwards. So the second area is clarity of vision. So the second little segment on your circle is clarity of vision. Write that in now. So clarity of vision, it's obvious, right? It's where you want your business to be. And it doesn't need to be this big, huge vision. So often, you know, when people talk about vision, people imagine 3 years from now, 5 years from now, even 10 years from now. And I don't know about you, but I really struggle with the big, big vision. I cannot imagine what the heck I'm doing 10 years from now. It just feels almost impossible for me. I find it really difficult. But what I can visualize is where I want to be 6 months from now or a year from now, and the things that are important in my business. So the things that I know I've got to have in my business to make me love it, to make me feel passionate about it, because that's why I built this business, right? I decided to become a coach because I wanted to change lives. I wanted to wake up every single day doing what I loved. I wanted to have the flexibility and the freedom to work when I wanted, with who I wanted, in whatever way I wanted. All of those things were really important to me. So when I think about my vision, they've always got to be there. That flexibility, that freedom, that love, that passion, that working with people in different ways. I don't like rolling out the same programs again and again and again. Those of you who know me know that I pretty much only do a program once, at the most twice, before I move on and create something new, because I like that change and I like the excitement and I like the movement. So I know that those are important aspects in my vision. So it doesn't need to be a huge vision. It could just literally be 3 months or 6 months from now, but you need to know where you're going and what would feel really good for you. So in terms of that clarity of vision, on a mark out of 10, 10 being you've got it, you're totally clear on what you want to achieve in your business, 1 being not at all. Where are you? So again, pop in your mark and let's move on to the next one. And again, think about, well, what's making it that number? And do I need to dream a bit bigger? Do I need to focus on it a bit more? Because I'm sure you've heard it. We can't create anything in our outside world that we can't already see in here. We have to create it in our mind before we can create it in the world around us. So it's really important to know what you want and to be able to feel that and live into that and daydream about it, right? That's essentially what it is. Thanks for popping those in. That's awesome. So we've got 6, 6, 5. We've got a couple that were a bit higher. Okay, cool. So taking time out to daydream is actually really important. And I do call it daydream on purpose, right? Because as children, we're told not to daydream. I was the girl who was the daydreamer. On parents' evening, my mum and dad would always come home and say, Claire, you've been daydreaming, but daydreaming is important. Daydreaming is awesome. That's where we get to dream and create inside our own heads before we then create it in the world. So actually give yourself time to really think about what it is. And if you struggle to create that vision, if you struggle to know what it is, well, what are the aspects that are important? So what has it got to have in it? Has it got to have passion and freedom and love in that vision? Is it that you want to be working with people one-to-one, or is it one-to-many? Is it small groups? Is it big groups? Is it online? Is it offline? Just what are the bits that you are clear about, and build it from there. And you don't need to be perfect. You just need to, feel that pull. So when you think about it, when you think about your vision, do you feel that pull inside of you? That pull that goes, oh my God, like if I can create that, that would be amazing. My heart would explode if I can have that. If I get to wake up every single day and be living that life, oh my God, like that would be so good. And you feel it in your body. You feel it from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes. Like, you know, when that vision is totally aligned. So work on it and give it a bit of time. So point 3, and this is what I was mentioning before, self-belief. How much belief do you have in yourself to achieve this vision and this business and this 5 to 10K months or beyond that, depending on where you are specifically? How much self-belief do you currently have in terms of you achieving that? Again, 1 to 10. 10 is I know I can do this no matter what. Don't you dare stand in my way. Like, that's a 10. A 1 is a holy crap. No, I want it, but I can never do it. So where are you currently in terms of that self-belief? And I find that this one is one of the big ones that trip people up, because so often we might have self-belief in one area, right? So I remember when I was taking my business online, so when I moved back to the UK and I was first taking my business online, I had belief in my coaching because I'd already been coaching for like 4 or 5 years in New Zealand, right? And I'd already got lots, amazing results for the women that I worked with. So I believed in myself in terms of that self-belief. I was like, I believe I'm a good coach. But what I didn't believe was that I could build a successful business in the UK. I didn't believe that I could find clients. I didn't believe that I could charge the money that I wanted to charge. I didn't believe that I could do it long term. And so even, if I made money 1 month, I would almost not believe that I could make it the second month. It was almost like, oh, I've done it once now. That's it. And that's where that consistency comes in. So awesome. The popping in self-belief numbers 8, 7. So a bit of a mix, which is awesome. And here's one of the important things about self-belief. And this is a trap I fell into myself. And I think it's a trap that a lot of people fall into. When I'm coaching women, it's something that comes up a lot. And I'll hear things like, I just need to improve my confidence and then I will. I just need to believe in myself and then I will. The thing is, we don't get confidence. We don't get self-belief by just doing the mindset work. We build that self-belief as we take action. And I'm going to go more into that in a moment. Okay, awesome. These numbers that are coming up, fabulous. Okay, so on to point number 4. And it's consistency of action, right? Because that's what it all comes down to. If we're not taking action and we're not taking action regularly, we're not going to build that momentum. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you in terms of taking action? And when I say taking action, I mean the right action. You know what I'm talking about, right? Because how many times have you said to yourself things like, oh, before I can start work today, I just need to clean the house because my house needs to be clean and orderly before I can get on with my work. That used to be me, by the way. Or what if the action is, I just need I need to buy a new notebook before I can start doing that morning journaling that's going to help me get my mindset in the right place. Can't possibly start it until I have a nice, beautiful notebook. And so you go shopping for a notebook. Like, it's a bit of an extreme, but I've done these things myself. Like, I know these traps because I once fell into them all myself. The other thing we'll do is we'll take action that feels easier. So maybe it's on the edge of our comfort zone, not outside of our comfort zone. So maybe it's I'll do a post. I'll write a post on Facebook. I might take a deep breath before I post it, but it feels doable. Good. Well done me. I've taken action. It's easy for us to trick ourselves into taking action that's either within our comfort zone or just on the edge and hoping that's going to get us exponential results. But the truth is, exponential results only happen when we push right outside of our comfort zone, when we literally leap, right? So it's consistency of action. That's part of it, but it's also the right action and the action that gets us to our results rather than the action that just pulls us off track and makes us, there was a term I heard a few years ago, busy fools. And I recognize that I fell into that trap for quite a long time. I was a busy fool. I was really good at being really busy, but not really getting the stuff done that mattered. So like, be honest with yourself and, how much are you doing the thing that really matters? And I want to say something about consistency as well, right? Consistency is a funny one. So personally, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with consistency because I have a bit of a rebel inside of me who doesn't like consistency, who doesn't want to be put in a box, who likes change and likes things to be different. So what I've done is I've built my business in a way that can support my natural need for change rather than or like consistency. So just tell me for a moment, how many of you love consistency, or do you have this almost rebel inside of you that pushes against that consistency and almost doesn't want it to happen? So just tell me that, because I'd be really interested to know. So I know that what I've done within my business is I've backed up ways to help myself look like my business is more consistent than it really is, so that I can have those peaks and troughs that I almost need to have, that I enjoy, those days where I like work my arse off all day and like I get a ton done, and then those days where it's a little bit quiet and I do a bit of self-care and I go and do whatever. And like, one example is that I have some days where I'm overflowing with being able to write stuff. Like, my message just flows out of me, and I can write blog post, blog post, blog post. I just go for it, right? And it all just flows from me. Don't even know why. So what I do on those days, instead of like posting all of it, like posting like 10 blogs on one day, that's just going to leave people going, oh my God, like what's she doing? It's, you know, I save them, I write them and I save them. And then on those days where I'm not like, where that message isn't flowing and I feel like doing something else in my business, that's when I share them. So you can help yourself out by having little ways to make consistency easier, because actually you might not be doing all of that thing every single day at the same time. Always, you know, you can find out little tricks and hacks for yourself within your business. So let me have a look at what some of you've been putting. So I've got Rebel, love it. A bit of both, okay. Yeah, a bit of both. Consistency is linked to my emotions. Yes, absolutely, boom. And on that note, so for example, I know that I write posts, I write blogs when I'm totally in my place of flow. And that's normally happened when I've like gone and had a massage, gone and had a lovely walk in the park, had a hot bath first thing in the morning. It's when I've done something that feels lovely for me, I get into that place of flow so much more quickly. So yes, knowing that our emotions have a huge impact on our consistency, but that we can take control of our emotions and we can choose to change them. Bit of both. Okay, love change and variety. Okay, awesome. Lots of things coming through. Rebel, I like change. Same every day makes me feel trapped. Yes, I can resonate with that. Absolutely. Okay, so where have we got to? Number five. This is a big one for lots of people, right? Is visibility and expert positioning. Visibility and expert positioning. So if you were being really honest with yourself about how visible your business is and how you position yourself as the expert, what would you be on a score of 1 to 10? I'll just read what Elaine's popped in. When my energy is flowing and I'm vibrating at high level, a bit of both. But when it's low, I can't see the wood from the trees and I get stuck. Absolutely. And that's where I know, I think, Elaine, you've been using the like journaling, haven't you, that came out. Those of you who didn't see it, you've all received a journaling like help thing to help you get started in journaling in your email. You'll all have done that when you join the challenge. So if you haven't seen that, there are things that we can use to help manage our emotions so that we can show up as our best selves. And that's one of the ways. So there were 2 emails out. One was about creating a magic routine or a magic morning routine to get yourself in the right space. And the other one was like learning how to journal so that you can shift your emotions quickly. 2 ways that will really make a big impact. Okay, so visibility and expert positioning. Sometimes we're good at being visible. So some people are really good at posting on Facebook and, you know, they're on Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook and all over the place, but they're not positioning themselves as an expert. They're just, you know, sharing like pictures and bits of fun, and someone will look at their life and they might be like, oh, wow, like their life looks amazing, but people might not know what you do. So it's got to be that combination of expert positioning, showing that you know your stuff, showing that you are the expert, like owning it when it comes to you being the expert, but also being visible. And one of the things I see people teaching on it all the time, and it really frustrates me because that you hear it again and again. People are like, you've got to be on all the places all of the time, or you haven't got a chance to grow your business. And that's bullshit, right? Facebook is an amazing way to grow your business. You do not need to be on all of the channels, all everywhere. It's way better to be on one, give it all of your focus, all of your attention, really create a presence in that place. That's far better than spreading yourself thin and then feeling like you spend your life on social media, that you don't get time doing the things you love, you don't get time doing the other things that grow your business, and you get stuck in that cycle of busyness. So actually just choose one place where you want to be really visible, where you're going to give it all of your love and care and attention, and you're going to really enjoy that. Because the other thing that I said, and I think some of you might resonate with this as well, is that I was like, I just want to coach. I don't want to be visible. I don't want to have to market my business. I don't want to have to do those things. I don't want to have to set up funnels. I don't want to have to like be the expert. I was like full of I don't want to at one point. I was like, I just want to coach. Why can't someone just give me clients and I'll just coach them? Which, as I'm sure you recognize, was not a very helpful frame of mind, right? But I got stuck in it for a while. until I realized that what I needed to do is I needed to fall in love with marketing. I needed to fall in love with a way of being more visible that worked for me. And this is where alignment comes into it big time for me, right? Because when we try to do it like by following someone else's way that's out of alignment with us, it's a push and a battle, and it's hard, and it feels icky, and it feels wrong. Versus when we find our little place that we really enjoy, and there can still be things that come up, right? Because we still might. Facebook Lives is a perfect example, right? So when I first started using Facebook Lives, I was scared. I was worried what people would say. I would think, God, people would be like, well, who's she to be like hopping on here and telling us whatever? And, you know, will they notice my little elf ears at the top, and will they do this? Like, whatever, right? I was full of all my reasons why I shouldn't be doing it. But there was a part of me that was like, actually, I would love to be able to do that, because actually how cool would it be to be able to just get in front of people and talk to them and teach them something and help them with something in some way. And so I knew that even though it scared me, I was aligned with it. So I knew that Facebook Lives were aligned for me, even though it felt scary. And so I want you to think about, what's the thing for you that would feel aligned? It might feel scary, but you know you would love to be able to do it. Is it talking to a huge audience? Is it talking to a small audience? Is it doing Facebook Lives? Is it writing amazing posts that really like pull people in? Is it that, you know, what is it for you? Is it doing podcasts? Is it interviewing other people and showing your expertise through that? How do you want to do it? Because there are a million ways that you can do it. There's no one set way. And the magic happens when you find your little piece of magic and how you want to be visible and how you want to share your message, because then it becomes easier, even though you might feel a bit scared doing it. So there's some comments coming in. Let me have a quick look. Ooh, lots of comments. Visibility and expert position. I believe I'm more expert in my field, but my visibility is low. Okay, so you've got that belief that you're an expert, and it's how you now show the rest of the world that you are as well. Absolutely. And so important, because we do this, right? We fall into the trap of thinking that somehow our ideal clients are going to just come to us, and it's not going to happen. The truth is, we have got to get out of our comfort zone. We have got to start being visible, or we can't make the impact that we want. And lots of you here, you're going to know you're in this for more than, it's about two things, right? It's about the freedom and the life that you can create. So it's about wanting the freedom, it's about wanting to make money, but it's also about wanting to make a difference. And we can't do any of that if we don't just allow ourselves to be visible. So we do need to push ourselves, and we might be the kind of people. So I'm an absolute introvert, right? I am the person who will hide if I can, because when I'm with other people all the time, my energy feels like it gets sucked away sometimes. And so I have to kind of feel like I have to look after my energy. But I knew that I couldn't be the person that hid and be the person who grew my business. So I had to find a way, in alignment, in flow, that I could start getting in front of people and sharing my message. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So Suzanne says, bit of imposter syndrome. Yes. And here's the thing about imposter syndrome, right? Everybody gets it. Everybody gets it. Even Sheryl Sandberg gets it, who's the CEO of Facebook, right? So everybody gets it. And you know what? At every different level. So when we grow in our business, we go through, we'll be wanting to hit one level, then the next level, then the next level. We're never done. There's always a next level that we want to hit, right? And every single time we have to up level, or we choose, or we want to up level, every single time we come across these same blocks. Every single time we have a fear that it won't work. Every single time we have a bit of that, the word's just gone that you said. What's it called? Imposter syndrome. Every single time we have these new beliefs that come up and pound us and say, no, stay where you are. And it's just that ego trying to keep us in the same place. So it's knowing that, yes, a bit of imposter syndrome, and we all get it. Don't let it stop you, because your vision is more important. Next area is authenticity and being truly you. Okay, what are you on this one? And when I say this, I don't mean the you that you are at home with your kids, with your family, with your friends. I mean the you that you show up as when you're online, when you're in your business. Because we can fall into the trap of thinking we need to be. We see people who are successful. So I know, and I'm sure you've probably seen them, there are a number of successful coaches who have big businesses, and they're all perfectly groomed, right? They're perfectly groomed. They have these gorgeous pictures where they're wearing these like ball gowns and everything, and they look stunning. And I remember thinking at one point a few years ago, it was when I was stuck and when I was struggling, oh my God, do I need to be showing up like that to get people's attention? Maybe people, you know, do I need to be that? Because that's how you become successful and that's how you attract the clients. And I had an internal struggle in me for a while around it, because I was like, oh my God, I feel like I need to be that to be successful. But actually, I know it's not me. Like, this is me. I'll make a bit of an effort, but I'm not like the person who spends hours on makeup. I'm not the person who wears like big flashy dresses. There's nothing wrong with the people who do, by the way. I think they look amazing. I think it's stunning. There's definitely a part of me that would love to feel comfortable every day in a gorgeous dress and all the rest of it, right? I'm not going to lie, but it's just not me, and it just doesn't feel comfortable. And a big part of me growing my business was getting comfortable being me, because when it comes to visibility, it's much easier to be visible if you get to show up as yourself. And if you can start to trust that you are enough and that you don't feel like you need to put on this mask to hide behind, that you don't feel like you need to show up as this expert, that you don't feel like you need to, oh my God, I've got to get it right each time and I've got to give value every time. Because perfect example, and this is a conversation I have with so many clients, they'll say, I want to do more Facebook Lives. And I'll say, okay, how do you go about doing Facebook Lives? And say, well, I spend quite a bit of time planning it. So I'll sit down and I'll have my pen and I'll write it all out, and then I'll try and learn it. And then I'll spend like a day or two, like getting myself ready to actually do it. Wow. That's a huge amount of effort, right? How hard is it to do that one live if you've gone to all that effort to do it? Whereas if you just trust that you have the message inside of you, that you are the expert and it's part of who you are, and you can just show up and share it, then you can literally just go live, you press go, and boom. Do you know what I mean? How many of you, like honestly, feel like you can just go boom, press live and feel totally comfortable and be totally you in your business, that you don't feel like you need to put on that front, that you don't feel like you need to pretend to be someone else? Like, give me that, give me a thumbs up, or give me something to show me how you feel about it, because it's huge and it can be a big block for us. So what kind of marks, I'm interested on that score 1 to 10 in terms of authenticity and being truly you? Where are you at? What mark out of 10 have you given yourself? I would love to know. So tell me. Come on. I'm not going to move on to the next one until I've seen some, because I really want to see where people are at with this. 9 out of 10. Awesome. And Faye, I know that because I've been working with you and you are fabulous. Janine, I feel at ease when I show up for work and feel, hold on, where's the rest of that? But work and feel the real me. 9, because I believe in what I'm in. Yeah, okay, so awesome. You're in flow, you believe in what you're doing, it feels good. That's fabulous. That's huge. And actually, I think you're in the minority when it comes to that. Lots of people don't feel like that. I trust that I'm the expert, but I feel like I have to clean my kitchen first. I love it. That's hilarious. So 5 out of 10, 7. It's easier to just do it. Absolutely. Okay, so this is interesting. Quite a lot of you, and this is brilliant, right? This is really, really good, that lots of you actually are already really authentic. And I know the reason that you're authentic is because it will be really high on your values, because it's the kind of people that you are. And that's why you are here, because our vibe attracts our tribe, right? And it's one of my top values, authenticity, being real, like loving who we are as a person is absolutely in my top 3 values. And so of course you're here because you've been attracted to that, because you have the same vibe when it comes to it. It's really important for you too to be authentic, to be real, to be you. So I love that. And those of you who don't feel like you are, it's okay. It's not because it's not important to you. I know that it is important to you. I think it'll be because there's some of that self-belief and doubt that's blocking it at the moment, and that can be the thing that pushes some people off track. Sorry, I need to sneeze. I wonder if it's going to happen or not. It's going to go away. That's totally moved procrastination. Can't do Facebook. Yes, absolutely. And it's lots of people, right? I really enjoy being me, as it helps others to be true to themselves. Absolutely. And this is one of the things I'm going to talk about. How many times, for me, it was a bit of a pain point when I realized that if I wasn't showing up being who I truly was, how could I help other people do that? And I really wanted to help other people do that. And I realized that that meant I had to push myself more and more and more to be as me as I could possibly be. Does that make sense? And sometimes it's a bit of playing. So, you know, like as children, and I'm sure when you think back to you being a child, so want to show up just me. Awesome, Misty, love it. The fact that you want to do it, that's first. That's what's so important. That has to come first. So as children, we try on different personalities sometimes, don't we? We like, that's why children love dressing up, because they get to try being a different person and see how it feels. And that can still be the case as adults, because sometimes there's parts of our personality that we haven't tried on yet, that we haven't stepped into yet. So for example, leadership, being the leader, can be a part of people's personality that they haven't yet embraced, that they haven't yet stepped into it. And it's a journey to learn to embrace it. And it's not because you're trying to be somebody else. It's not like, oh, I want to be a leader, so I've got to change and be that. Actually, it's already part of you, but you haven't fed that seed, you haven't watered it. And so that we all have parts within ourselves that we haven't even yet discovered, and we can feed and grow, and that makes us be even more. So it's okay to play a little bit. It's okay to look for those seeds. It's okay to see what grows and see what feels good. Don't be afraid to experiment with who you are as you get to know yourself even more, and you pull back those layers and grow even faster. Okay, next one. Aligned client attraction system. Ooh. Do you have an aligned client attraction system? Let me explain what I mean by this. I mean a system that you can put into place that brings clients to you, that brings your ideal clients to you. How fully have you got a system? And this is the bit that I think is really interesting, because this is where I spent lots of money learning all the systems. I learned all the systems because I was like, there's got to be a secret system somewhere that's right for me. And so I'd learn this funnel, this funnel, this funnel, this funnel, and this sales secret, and this marketing secret. And I learned all of it. And what would happen is I would try and implement this other expert's funnel system, and I would literally follow it step by step. And they were like, if you follow the system step by step, you'll be making 100,000 million a month straight away next month. And I'd be like, I'm doing that, but I'm not getting those results. I'm not getting anywhere near those results. Why not? And I actually got really a bit angry, because I was like, oh, like I am doing this. Why isn't it working? And the reason it wasn't working was it was a couple of things. I wasn't going for it 100%. I was holding back because of the beliefs and things, because of being scared of failing, because of all of that. The system wasn't in alignment to me. So I wasn't in flow when I was creating it. Instead, it felt really icky and like one step in front of the other and really hard. And things do feel hard when we're learning them, right? When we're learning something new, it quite often doesn't feel easy. We have to get past some of the ickiness sometimes. But I think in your core, deep down whether it's aligned or not and whether it's right for you. And for me, lots of those systems weren't right. And part of what shifted me from that frustration and making very, very little to being fully booked in that 6 weeks was actually starting to do things my way. It was literally when I stopped, when I'd had enough, when I basically had a little temper tantrum like a 5-year-old, and I stamped my foot and I was like, oh, I am not doing this anymore. I am off with all of this. And I started to do what just felt good for me. That's when it changed. And so this is huge. So having an aligned system, like knowing what the steps are that you need to do that feel good, that work for you, is really important, because it builds that self-belief. And it means that on those days where you wake up, maybe you're having a slightly down day, maybe you're having a day where your emotions have gone a bit crazy or whatever, if you know what you've got to do, and it's literally follow the plan, you can do it regardless of how you feel. The comments are really hard to read on here. That was me until recently, trying to learn others' methods. Yes, absolutely, Elaine. Okay, so I'm missing some of the comments. I apologize if I'm missing your comments. I will go back to some of them later. Oh, it's because for some reason they're just showing up really little on here. Okay, so the next one and the last one, and there were so many other. This was quite hard choosing the last one for the circle, because there were lots of different things that I wanted to put, and I couldn't pin myself down. But I decided to go for client care, right? Because client care is really important. I also think it's going to be something that all of you are already really good at, because you're in this because you want to make a difference, because you're in this because you really want to help, you really want to give, and that's probably your downfall. You probably give, and you're probably not very good at receiving. But I thought I'd put it in anyway, because I thought you might like to be able to give yourself like a 9 or 10 out of 10 for this. And I think most of you probably will. What about client care? How fully are you taking care of your clients? How fully are you being real with them, calling them out on bullshit? How fully are you supporting them? How fully are you? Because what we can do sometimes is we want to sometimes take care of our clients in terms of almost like protecting a child. And that's never the best thing for them. Sometimes we need to push. Sometimes we need that brutal honesty. We're not just there to protect them. We're there to push them. But as we push them, we hold that space. We walk with them where it feels scary. And we keep telling them, you can go further, you can go further, you can go further. So where are you in terms of client care, and what would you give yourself around that? So that's the last area on your wheel. And now this, oh my God, my battery's running out. So on your wheel, have a little look. What are the areas for you that are really quite low, that you know need a bit of tender loving care so that you can improve them? And most importantly, and this is a really, really important bit, right? Which is the area that will have the biggest impact if you give it some focus? So is it, for example, that visibility is low for you? And you know, by really giving that part of your business some focus, it's going to massively make the results that you're getting soar. It's going to really change those results quickly. Is it giving yourself permission to be totally you in your business? Because that's going to have the knock-on effect to being more visible that's going to make your business soar. Is it consistency and just taking the action again and again and again and again, even though you feel scared? Is that the thing that's going to really make the biggest impact? So I want you to identify, and I want you to share this with me. I might not be able to read it right now, but I'll definitely read it later. And if you're watching this later, please, oh, what have I just done to my hair? If you're watching this later, please do be putting in your comments, because I'm going to go back and have a look at it. It's really important to partake in it and not be a lurker. Like you'll have seen one of my videos probably about being a lurker. So what is the one area that will give you exponential growth? Pop it in. Tell me, what's the one area, if you really gave it some focus, if you really gave it some love and attention and built momentum in the area, it would give you exponential growth? And what would be the actions that you took in that area? Okay, so I want you just to share that with me now so we can all see. I do too much for my clients versus what I receive. So that might be an area for you. I can't find the most up to date. So I've marked myself down. Okay, that's cool, Becky, because that's really important. So it might be for you that the area you need to focus on is opening yourself up to receiving and feeling good to receive. And that might have the biggest impact to grow your business. Align client attraction, clarity and vision. Okay, so there's different things coming through, which is really interesting. And what I want you to do is I want you to make yourself a commitment right now. So when you get off this training with me, or even like do it now and share it now, right? What do you promise yourself? What do you commit totally to doing in this area for you? What do you commit to doing to move yourself forward in this area? And what do you commit to doing not just once, but again and again and again and again until it starts feeling easier, until it starts getting results? So what's the thing that you are committed to working on that's going to move you forward, that's going to move that score that you've got, whatever it is currently, to something higher, so that it takes you closer to getting those results? Because we all know, right? We've all done it, me a million times as well. We go on a training, we learn something new, we're all like, yes, I realize I need to do this or I need to do that. And then we get busy again and we don't do it. And we tell ourselves, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. And we never get there and nothing ever changes. So what is it for you? And thanks, Emma, for popping that in. I didn't realize you were here. Being visual and having confidence to get business, not just friends and family. Awesome. So it sounds like you all know what it is, right? You know what it is. So make that commitment to yourself that after you get off this call, while we're doing this challenge, you're going to take action on it. Okay, so there's a bit of accountability around this. And there's something else I want to share as well. So don't go hopping off. I'm not finished yet. Thank you for being with me. And I'm going to have to hurry up actually because my battery's going. So I haven't got through everything that I wanted to get through today. But what I would love you to do is after this live's finished, I'd like you in your separate post, put day one challenge, like that as the heading, day one challenge. And I want you to share what the commitment is that you're taking, what you're committed to doing from this to really work on that one area. So what area is it for you and what's your commitment? And I've got some really cool prizes that I'm going to give away that I'm going to give away after this challenge has ended for those people who've really taken action and who have posted for every day of the challenge. So if you take action on this, if you post it in the group, then you will be in to win basically coaching for me that's going to save you a lot of money. And I promise you it will create a transformation. So do it, take action on it. Don't just think about it. 1, commit to yourself. 2, go and post it in the group. Put just day 1 challenge. And 3, show up and do it. Okay, now I'm going to have to fast forward a bit. I'm going to go on to this bit. So I'm going to share the next little bit. I'm going to do it in just a few minutes, but it's important. And what I wanted to share with you was the 5 biggest traps that I believe hold all of us, we can all do it, right? Back when it comes to building our business. And it doesn't matter what level that you're at. It doesn't matter whether you're at a few £100s and you want to make your first 5K. It doesn't matter if you're at 5K and you want to make 10K, whether you're at 10K and want to make 20K. Like, it doesn't matter where you're at. It's still the same traps that we can fall into. So number 1 is procrastination and perfectionism. That whole needing to get it right and wanting to be right. And even little things, right? Like, oh, I can't do a Facebook Live today because I haven't washed my hair. Or I can't do a Facebook Live right now because I've got no makeup on. Or I can't do a post because it's not quite right. Or, another one might be my English isn't brilliant and I keep making mistakes and I'm scared of what people will think. Or I don't know how to put a proper funnel together, so I can't do it. Or I don't have the technical things that I need to be able to run a program, or whatever it might be, right? So the thing about procrastination is there to protect us. It's because we have beliefs that are holding us back. So when we procrastinate, when we go and tidy the house or do the food shopping or do something else when we should be focusing on our business, it's because ultimately there's something going on beneath the surface that's creating that procrastination. We never just procrastinate for the hell of it. It's actually a way of protecting us and keeping us in our comfort zone. It's our ego's way of keeping us where we are. So it's recognizing that, looking at what is it that's stopping me from taking action. So that's trap number 1. Do you fall into that trap? How regularly? Just recognize it and acknowledge it if you do. Number 2, and this, you might think this is the same as the top one, but it's not. This is the waiting until game. I'll be able to make 5K in my business once I've done some extra coach training. I'll be able to make 5K in my business once I've learned how to put a funnel together. I'll be able to make 5K in my business once I've got a mailing system. I'll be able to make 5K in my business once I have a website. I'll be able to make 5K in my business once I've got clarity. I'll be able to make 5K in my business when I've got confidence. It's the whole waiting until. The truth is, we never achieve anything when we wait until. We have to take action now. And it's by taking action now that we gain clarity. It's by taking action now that we gain confidence. It's by taking action now that we figure out how to do things as we go along the way. So that's the second trap. The third trap is the search for the secret ingredient. By the way, have you noticed I've fallen into all these traps in my past? So feel free to share, have you fallen into these? Give me some reports or some. Can you do reports on here? I don't even know. If you've fallen into these traps. So the next one is that search for the secret or the right way. That was my thing. I just need to know the right action to take. If someone would just tell me the right action, then I could just do it because I'm good at taking action. I just don't know what it is that I should be doing. Yeah. That's totally what I would tell myself. It was such bullshit. And you know what? Sometimes I see myself falling into it again. I have to catch myself because we can all fall back into our old patterns. So are you searching for that magic ingredients when it just doesn't exist? The magic ingredient is just getting started. And probably because the thing that really helped me and the thing that I see all the time is having someone to support you on that journey. We need someone because we have wobbles. We can't always do it by ourselves. That's why coaching is such a big profession, right? Because we all need someone. We actually all need a coach to help us and support us and say, on those days where we're having a wobble, say, you know what, I've got you, we can do this. And on those days when we think we've got it all sorted, can give us a push and make us go further. So the fourth one is hiding and hoping clients will find us. Just hoping that our ideal clients will come our way, but not really doing the action that gets us seen in whatever way or shape or form that might be. And the fifth one is shrinking and comparison. So I remember when I used to go to networking meetings and things like that, being a bit of an introvert, I would feel myself shrinking inside of myself. And someone would say, well, what do you do? And I'd be like, I'm I'm a life coach. I kind of do coaching. I would shrink because I'd feel like all these people had their shit together and all these people were successful and oh my God, little me, I don't have any, and I would compare myself to other people all the time. And that comparison, it would really lower how I felt. I would feel crap because I'd be comparing myself to these people and thinking, I'm not enough. Why am I not there yet? I need to be better. And we never take good action from that place, right? So we need to shift that. We need to literally throw that comparison away and start looking at actually how awesome we already are and what we've already got and what we bring to the table. And the thing is, those 5 traps are all fueled by beliefs. And here are the beliefs. So I'm not good enough. What if I fail? What if I succeed? And what will others think? I think they're the 4 big ones. So does that resonate? How many of those traps are you currently still falling into, if you're being really honest with yourself? And for you, what is it fueled by? Is it that I'm not good enough? Is it the what if I fail? Is it the what if I succeed? Because hell, that could be scary too, right? Or is it what will others think? Or maybe there's another one that I haven't put in there, but for you, it's really important. Suzanne says, I catch myself shrinking on comparing a lot. So how many of those traps are you currently falling into? And what is it fueled by? Because the first step to change is awareness. And when we see that awareness, when we start really being able to almost hold a mirror up to ourselves and see, that's when we can create change much more quickly and much more effectively. And that's when we can create those exponential results that we want, right? Because shifting from a few £100s a month to 5K a month, it's an exponential shift. It's not what happens every single day, but that doesn't mean that it can't happen. It absolutely can. And I've seen it again and again and again and again. And it's that moment when you start owning it. So thank you for being here today. Thank those of you who are live with me. That's awesome. Tomorrow, we're going to be live at 10:30. So it's a little bit later. 10:30, we're going to be live. Go share your things in the group. If you're watching this back later, feel free, put in your comments. I'll come back to them. Message me personally if you have any questions. Put your comments in the group for sure. I've got so much stuff to share with you over the next few days. I'm full of it. And you know what? This is really about making that shift. So continue to make the commitment, because here's the trap that you can fall into. I showed up day one. I'll catch tomorrow's later. But it doesn't work that way. We need to show up. We need to be committed. We need to make it a priority if we absolutely want those results. And I know that you do want those results. So firstly, thank you all of you for being here. Thank you for playing full out. Thank you for popping in your comments and sharing your thoughts and being honest, because that's so important. It's such an important part of the game. Go and have an awesome day. Go and take massive action. Go and push yourself out of your comfort zone. Go and spend a little bit of time looking at your wheel and looking at what action you're going to take and making that commitment and starting to do it now today, not waiting until, because you can take action right now. So go and do it now. I will see you tomorrow at 10:30 here. In the meantime, message me. Let me know if you've got any questions, whatever it might be. Thank you for all your lovely thank yous. That's amazing. Mwah. Love you all, because remember, business is supposed to be fun. Business is supposed to be filled with love, and you can build the business of your dreams. You absolutely can, and you deserve it. You deserve it, and your ideal clients deserve it, who are waiting for you. So choose, even though sometimes you might not have that self-belief, sometimes you might not be able to see the bigger picture, just decide to trust and hold that space of trust until you start seeing the results, and keep taking action and keep pushing yourself, because you are worth it and you deserve this. And you absolutely have got it inside of you to create this and so much more. Lots of love to you all. Also, please share this. If you know someone who would benefit from this, please tell them about me. Share the video. It's all about helping each other out. Go and have an amazing day. I've got to figure out how to end this. I don't know how to end it. I need to find the button. It's hilarious. Where's end broadcast? Okay, there we go. I'll see you tomorrow.